Dear student and parent, welcome to the TestprepKart channel. This video is going to be about the structure of the SAT and the scoring. I will be going over how is the score ascertained and also give you a brief overview of the calculation in this video. Let me run you through a small PowerPoint presentation which will help you understand how the scoring is done. Now, this is the section, this is a clipping of how the scoring is done. It depends on the different section of the SAT, different sections covered in the SAT. So you know that SAT score is important for college admissions and even things like scholarships. But how does your score get calculated? This is one thing that always bothers both students and parents. I'll show you simple steps in calculating your final SAT score so you can get an accurate idea of how well you are doing on your exam. Your raw score is simply calculated using the number of questions you answered correctly. For example, we start with the raw score of 58. And what does it translate for your math, reading, and your writing? So what each score, what each number configures is mentioned in the subsequent slides. You can see here, right up till 0 score, what is the score that you can expect from the raw score given in each of the sections has been specified in this PPT, which I have displayed. For every question you answer correctly on the SAT, you receive 1 point. There is no penalty for guessing or skipping. The maximum possible score varies by section and depends on the total number of questions asked. For example, for the reading test, there are only 52 questions. So the maximum raw score is 52. If you answered all 52 questions correctly, you would have a raw score of 52. For math, there are 58 questions. For writing, there are 44 multiple choice questions. There is one essay which is graded separately on a scale of 2 to 8 and is not factored into your composite score. Composite score means a minimum of 400 and a maximum of 1600. Therefore, I will not be focusing much on the essay section here. So how is it that you convert the raw scores to scaled scores? The raw score is converted into the scale score on 200 to 800 scale for each section using a table. I've mentioned raw scores here in this table here. I've explained what all of these are. As I go further, each of these sections, expressions of idea, passport to advanced math, all of these have been discussed in our previous videos as to how to get your evidence-based reading and writing section will be discussed here, but what this section is has been priorly mentioned. Similarly, your math score, sub-scores, the heart of algebra, problem solving and data analysis, passport to advanced math, expression of ideas, standard English conventions. Each of these, how they are graded, has been explained in detail in this PPT. You can download it from the link provided and have a thorough understanding of the same. Words in context, command of evidence. Also, how do you calculate the cross-test scores? Analysis in history, social studies, and analysis in science. I will be running you through how to understand your SAT score report through this PPT. This is just a sample PPT for your understanding. So, for math, you simply convert your raw score to final section score using the tables provided. For evidence-based reading and writing section, there is an extra step. You get individual raw scores for reading test and writing language These two raw scores are converted into two scale test scores using the table which I just presented. The two test scores are then added together and multiplied by 10 to give you your final evidence-based reading and writing section score in the range of 200 to 800. As I explain this slide better, you will have a thorough understanding. So why is it that your reading, writing, and language are listed as separate sections? Why are they graded from 10 to 40 instead of 200 to 800 as mentioned here? As I mentioned briefly before, you get separate raw scores for reading, writing, and language. You then take these two scores and convert them into two scale scores using this table. For example, if you answered 33 correctly in the reading and 39 correctly in writing and language, your scale score would be 29 and 35 respectively. These two scale scores are then added together and multiplied by 10 to give you your final evidence-based reading and writing section score. Continuing with the example which I've just been stating, if your scale scores were 29 for reading, 35 for writing and language, your final evidence-based reading and writing scaled score would be 29 plus 35, the sum of the two into 10, which adds up to 64 into 10 again, which is 640. So overall, this is how it is calculated. Once you have your scaled score for both math and evidence-based reading and writing sections, you just add them together to get your overall SAT composite score. For example, if you've scored 710 in math and 640 in evidence-based reading and writing, your composite score would be 710 plus 640, that totals up to 1350, 1350. Now let me give you a brief understanding of this sample test score report. How do you understand this? So the College Board gives you the breakdown of your incorrect, correct, and omitted answers on your SAT score report, in addition to your final scaled scores. Look at the slide which is being presented on screen. Note that on this test, the raw math score was out of 57 and not 58. This sometimes happens when a question on the test is deemed to be unfair or unanswerable, and the SAT drops it from everyone's scoring. For the reading and writing and language sections on this SAT score report, these students' raw scores were 52 and 42. These raw SAT section scores scaled to section scores of 40 reading, 39 writing and language, which translated to 790 evidence-based reading and writing. Ultimately, it would be 40 plus 39 into 10, which totals up to 790. I'd like to emphasize that you will not be able to determine what the full table of raw to scale scores conversion was from your score report. Instead, you will only be able to determine what your raw score was and see how it translated to your scaled scores. How does this impact you, or what does this mean for you? Once you have determined your target SAT score in terms of raw score, you can use it to determine your SAT test strategy options. You need to create your study plan accordingly. So here I have collated a list of conversion tables for your perusal. You can calculate look at how the conversions are done. So several table conversions along with flowcharts to assist in easy calculation of the scores have been presented in this PPT for your perusal. You can go over, try to understand what all this is about, and get back to us in case you have any further doubts or clarifications. Do comment below or connect with us on the link in the description. Do subscribe to our channel to keep yourself updated with latest topics. Thank you.